Perfectionism is just a fake weakness that we use in job interviews, right? Well, actually, there's quite a few downsides. Let me tell you more. Hi, I'm Chris, I'm a doctor, and perfectionism often people would argue is a scale, so we're all actually on it, and it's important to know a bit about this. At its extreme, perfectionism can lead to complete inaction, failure to do anything, and this is because we want to avoid that failure, the experience of failure, and it's actually fear driven. So we're not wanting to do anything because we're potentially aware that it won't be perfect and we won't then take risks and live our life to the fullest. It can be actually exhausting, stressful, and frustrating because whatever we do will never be perfect enough. And it's this chasing an unattainable goal which can be self destructive simply because when there's no such thing as perfect, you use all your energy to try and get this and you don't succeed. Therefore, it can predispose to depression, as often when things don't work out perfectly, we blame ourselves. Perfectionists all want to really be perceived as perfect by others, and that's exactly where the trap is, because when we do fail and we experience some judgment, perhaps blame, shame, much of which is self-induced, we then think it's because we didn't try hard enough to be perfect, and rather than questioning the logic behind this, we then become more entrenched in this idea in our quest to live, look, and have a perfect life. So we then try harder and buy more into that perfectionism. And clearly, there's no way to control other people's perceptions, regardless of how much energy we try. So, not only does perfectionism sap your own willpower and energy, it has an impact on your team around you. And it's a negative impact because others then spend energy that's potentially better spent elsewhere, focusing on trying to achieve perfect, which is not necessary. This can make everybody anxious and uptight. So, what I would say is from perfectionism, try to strive to do things to a satisfactory standard. Practice a bit of self compassion, but whatever you do, make sure that you take action, being well aware the result may not be perfect. Perfectionism. What is it? Is it just some. And clearly, there's no way to even. And also, you could argue that perfectionists have this need and desire to be perceived as perfect. And there's where the trap can potentially close you down. Because when you do fail, which we all will invariably experience some shame, judgment, or blame. Often we blame ourselves, perhaps some humiliation.